If you'd like to see more of our videos, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube or follow us here on Instagram.
Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is January 27th, 2020, and today is Monday morning. So looking at what's happening in the markets, firstly, very scary situation coming out of China. Carnivorous scare is happening. And as a result, the markets are tanking. We're going to take a look at that. And this is one of those type of scenarios where, could create some tremendous opportunities for traders. Now, looking at the balance of the economic data for today, coming out of the European Union, German IFO business climate coming out at 11 a.m. South African time. It's an important number, but I don't think it's going to change our markets too much. Now, looking at the markets, we watched the South African rand and the Canadian dollar actually retrace versus the US dollar. Nothing to do with carnivorous scare. However, when we look at the Dow Jones, it's tanking, okay, over 500 points overnight. And we're going to take a look at that in just a second. Looking at the commodities, gold jumps as a result of this scare, while oil is breaking lower just generally. Lastly, looking at the stocks, expected to sell off, but let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading.
So we're taking a look here at the USD Canadian dollar. You can see we breached this 131.44, and we know the Canadian dollar is very much based on the price of oil, and oil is tanking right now, and as a result, we're seeing that the Canadian dollar is getting much weaker versus the dollar, okay? If it does continue to break this line, there's a minor resistance right here at 131.80-ish level. We could see it back in the 132-ish level, even 132.5. So that's something to consider as we go into today's trading. Now, looking at the USD ZAR, okay, the rand repeating itself back to 1452. Now, we haven't been at this area for quite some time, and so this does look like it's slowly making an upwards transition, facing this 1460-ish level challenge, okay? And if it does break above it, then we could see it go back to the 15-ish level, I'm sorry to say, okay? So this could make a reversal if it does continue this upwards momentum. Now, looking at gold, all right? Now, this is what happened this morning. We gapped up earlier over the weekend after the scare come out from China. Now, they're not sure exactly, and I guess you're going to have to really keep an eye glued to the updated news as to whether or not there's going to be containment to this virus or how it's going to actually play out. So a lot of uncertainty, and we know that the markets hates uncertainty. So what is the go-to investment when the markets are going down? It's always gold. And sure enough, we hit this 1586-ish level. Now, I want to highlight the fact that we haven't really gone above this 1600-ish level, okay? So that's really important to note. So really, if it does want to beat it, it's got to really continue this upwards momentum, which I think won't happen. Okay, I think the markets are going to turn, and I think things are going to actually quiet down after all said and done. Now, looking at oil, we've seen it actually break down at 52.77 right now. Now, we're off of our 51.80 support level, and if we breach that, we could definitely hit $50 a barrel or even lower. Okay, so keep that in mind as we go into today's session. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, you could see that gap down. Look at that, 29,200 to 28,644 right now. Okay, now this may be a point that we consolidate, possibly jump off of it or break down, okay? But however, there's going to be a certain response to this situation, and I think, after all the dust settles and if there is containment for this virus, I don't think it's going to go global. But these are the type of things that could really go out of proportion, okay? If you guys remember, in 2002, we had a SARS scare, which was SAARS. It was a very dangerous virus, also coming out of, I believe, Africa at one point. And these things actually, as they hit the markets hate these things, okay? So that's why the markets actually, sold off almost close to 600 points. So with that said, I do expect a little bit of a bounce. I don't know when that bottom will be, though, okay? As long as there's no containment, I think we're going to be, in a tremendous volatile market and a volatile situation, okay? But once we hit that, bottom, sure enough, this will correct itself on the upside. Now, looking at the only stock that was up last week was Netflix. Okay, we're looking at a daily, but it did sell off. All the other stocks sold off on Friday. Okay, most of them selling off. So I don't expect much of a bounce today Okay, as much as I'd like to see one, I don't think we'll get it. Okay, so I do expect the stocks also to, jump around a lot today without a clear direction. Okay, going into this week, there's a couple of things coming up next week. Okay, with the Iowa caucus, which is the first Democratic primary for a candidate versus Donald Trump coming up next November. So that's really important. So I think I'm going to keep my eye more shut to that than anything else. Also to keep an eye on also obviously the news about the virus to see if it does get containment. We'll see a little bit of a bounce. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.